All right, the Reds, it's talking Reds Monday after the Saturday when we battered Watford 5-0, and it could have been 6, it could have been 7, it could have been 8. And what a player we've got on our hands in Mo Salah. Everyone is talking about Mo Salah. We're going to do the same. We're going to get involved in the Mo Salah chat. But before we do, Craig's just made a very good point before we started filming. And because that's a rare moment,
I was waiting on the next part of that.
And because that's a rare moment, we're going to concentrate on that first of all, which is just to say that Roberto Firmino scored an absolute belter of a goal on Saturday, and no one is talking about it because everyone is talking about Mo Salah. So let's just talk about Bobby first. What a goal. And also as well, he's now got the most goals in a season in his professional career. And again, not many people are talking about that. It's all about Mo. It's all about his 36 goals and his 28 in the Premier League and the likelihood of him winning the Golden Boot and all that sort of thing. But as I say, we'll come on to that. But what about Bobby?
I love him, you know. He's still my favourite player. I think like that goal was outrageous, but I think it means another no-look goal. I didn't realise this at the time. It was only whenever I watched the replay this morning that he isn't looking and he does a flick. That's 5, I think he's got now, which is just outrageous. He's so important to this team. I think like Jurgen Klopp's talked about it. Jurgen Klopp brings him off first, brings him off before Salah, and I think one of his quotes was something along the lines of, if you tell Roberto Firmino to slow down and to sort of calm down a little bit because we're winning 4-0, he won't do it. He just keeps going, and I love that. I think with the amount of goals he's scoring now, he reminds me a little bit of Suarez, and I mean that in that. When Suarez was playing for Liverpool, the way he hunted, the way it's almost like that South American way of playing, and that's what I love about him. But he's just so important to this team, and yeah, like I said, I just feel sorry for him because he scores that goal. He scored the most he's ever scored in a campaign. He's having his best season, the season of his life so far, leading up to a World Cup, leading up to hopefully Kiev with Liverpool, and there's just no one's talking about him because it's Mo Salah's got the limelight.
We love you, Bobby. He's flying, Bobby, and he's doing great for Liverpool. And his energy is something else, as Craig says there. He hunts down the ball. He's like a defensive mid at times, which is mad when he's a number 9 who scored 23, is it now? But yeah, Salah, let's get on the Salah chat then. As I say, 36 goals now, 28 in the Premier League in 30 games, 4 ahead of Harry Kane, which I absolutely love the fact that, you know, Harry Kane's out for 3 weeks with an injury, and Salah goes, okay, all right, Harry lad, this is where we step it up, live with this boy, and goes out and scores 4 goals, and that's more goals than, I mean, there's lots of Messi comparisons going on at the moment. I know Klopp was hit with it, their manager too as well in the press conference afterwards. Well, if we're going to do comparisons to Messi, he's got more goals than him this season. Messi's on 35, and Mo's done 36 in less games as well. He also sets up Firmino on Saturday, of course, and that's 9 assists in the Premier League now, bettered only by De Bruyne and Sane at City. And as well, I mean, the thing I liked and the thing I sort of nudged the lad next to me and said when I was watching that one on Saturday in the freezing cold at Anfield, that was proper blue. I said to him, he's scoring right-footed goals here. You know what I mean?
I never thought of that, actually.
All of a sudden, he's slotting right-footed goals, and it's like, if you're a defender now, you're like, hang on, he can go that way as well. Shit.
He's scored every type of goal, I think. I'm struggling to think of a type of goal that he's not scored for Liverpool so far. In terms of the Messi comparisons, I think a few weeks ago in the office we'd spoken of, if you watch Messi, it's the way he sort of like jinks and drops the shoulder, and you don't want that comparison with him because Messi's Messi. He's the best footballer I've ever seen, but it's just stylistically the way he does it, and it's the amount of goals. Obviously, he scored more goals than Messi this season. So whisper it, he is. You know, he's up there and he's doing it, and stylistically he looks. It's almost like everything's a little bit untidy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think they said it in the Pink, whereby he's not this showboating attacking midfielder or this winger or striker, or you can't pin him down. He isn't that. He's not doing tricks, but everything he does is with purpose, and everything he does is with the end goal of scoring, assisting, or causing trouble. And that's what he's doing for Liverpool. He's been an absolute steal of a signing, hasn't he?
Certainly has, but also as well, I mean, another great thing I think to take out of the weekend is, you know, obviously 5 goals, everyone's talking about Mo, but I'm enjoying the fact that Liverpool are keeping clean sheets and looking so much more steady at the back now as well. And, you know, the winner at Swansea is the only goal the Reds have conceded from a dead ball now in 22 Premier League games. It's 6 clean sheets in the last 9 games as well. I mean, and this is just a totally different Liverpool side now to the one you saw first day of the season throwing it away at Watford, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and you know, there's different people on that side as well are helping it. Van Dijk's the one that has almost gone under the radar, which is mad to say for a Colossus sort of £75 million centre back. But he's just calmed everyone down. Walshy was sent off camera, he's one of the best centre backs we've ever seen play for Liverpool.
And that's,
you think of some of the players that we've had in that position, but as a footballer as well, some of his technique. There was one instance at the weekend where he looked a little bit under pressure, but no problem, drops his shoulder and just pings one out wide. And it was just, that's ridiculous. But there's so much going on this Liverpool side that and there's so many different people to talk about. Robertson's been getting loads of plaudits.
Great ball.
The ball in was just, it was unbelievable. And obviously Salah, Firmino less so, but he should be. Even players like Sadio Mane, I thought played really, really well at the weekend. But
that's a great ball as well for the first goal.
Exactly.
And also as well before the first goal, there's another ball where he finds Salah, and then Salah decides to find Emre Can, and it didn't quite come off. But I mean, considering the first goal was 3 minutes, there was an earlier chance, even earlier than 3 minutes. So, it was a great start from Liverpool. They scored at all the right time as well, I thought. So obviously early goals, fantastic. One just before half time's great. And then, they were putting it to bed, and it was just a matter of sort of how many. And I really enjoyed sort of Ings' cameo as well, Ingredients.
Danny Ingredients,
Danny Ingredients was cooking up some magic there, nearly. And, he nearly scores as well. Obviously, Mo puts in the rebound, but there's people laughing at my cheesy lines here. But yeah, I mean, he looked. All of a sudden, I was watching him, and I thought he doesn't look like a million miles off anymore. Do you know what I mean? He looks like someone that you can throw in. That is a decent replacement for some of the others. And I think when we've seen him in the past, you've just thought, don't know. So hopefully he can get to the level. He could do with a goal. He could do with Premier League goalies stop having blinders against them. One of the saves was fantastic.
Yeah. The other one he probably should score, but again, that's just lack of match practice. It's the fact that he's been out and he's not been given a lot of chances, and he just, at the very least, he looks busy. And there's been loads of debate as to whether he is, he's going to be good enough to sort of continue to progress with this Liverpool side. On the trajectory that they're on, but he's doing himself he's doing himself all of the favours. And if you look at some of the fixtures that we've got coming up, I'm thinking the Merseyside derby. The Merseyside derby is the one I'm thinking for Danny Ingredients, because that could be a recipe for he could cook up something in that one.
That's the last time. That was his last goal as well, wasn't it?
It was, under Rodgers.
Everton. So
that's the one where it's sort of it's sandwiched in between the City games or either side of it. So I think that's the one where we might see him finally get a start, and what better way to get your first goal since your last one in the Merseyside derby than in that game.
He gets one there, and before you know it, he could be cooking on gas. Salah then 31 goals is the most scored in a Premier League season. Don't shoot the messenger. That's what they're putting in the papers today. I know football existed before the Premier League, before you shout at me. But yeah, Shearer, Ronaldo and Suarez all managed 31. Salah's on 28. So, there's something to aim for there. Mad as well that his previous best is 19 in a season for Roma, and then he's just rocked up at Liverpool and gone, jib that.
Sorry to cut in there. It was interesting to hear Jurgen Klopp talk about, I think it was in Simon Hughes' piece in The Independent, where he talked about he didn't, when Salah was at Roma, he was more of an out-and-out winger, and it was only whenever they brought him to Melwood that they sort of saw his capabilities, and he saw what he could offer almost as an inside forward. And if you look at, I saw someone tweet his heat map, it still is from wide, so he's not a striker. He's still starting out wide, and he's coming in and he's drifting in almost a little bit like you'd have looked at maybe Henry on the opposite side all those years ago. But I think that was interesting just to hear Klopp say that he didn't bring him in with the idea of playing him more inside and more as a striker, more forward. It was something that he realised he could be when he started seeing him in training every day.
Whatever the reason, it's a happy accident. It's tactical genius. Who cares? He's scoring absolutely loads of goals. He's a fantastic player to watch. And it was good as well for Liverpool, obviously, to take advantage of the fact that some of the top 4 rivals weren't playing, and there's now a 7-point gap over Chelsea. Unfortunately now 12 days without a Liverpool game, which is an absolute nightmare because, you know, it always seems, I don't know, this is just something in my head, but it just seems like they do something great and then you're made to wait, and it's just like, international football, not really for me. But then we go to Hodgson's Palace, City at home, as Craig mentioned, and the derby at Goodison. So loads of stuff to look forward to. This Talking Reds on a Monday is brought to you in association with the Shankly tours at which go out to the Shankly Hotel. And before we go to the papers, there's a little something from the Shankly Hotel, the Shankly tours, coming up right now. All right, we're back at the Shankly Hotel with Chris, Bill Shankly's grandson, and another thing you've got, another artefact that people can look at as part of the Shankly tours is a number plate from Bill's car. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's actually the last ever number plate from the last car he had, which is an old Nissan Datsun, which again kind of shows you how different football is nowadays. And it's got a crack down the middle of it. And the really interesting story behind that is that not many people realise it, but he was an absolutely horrendous driver. My nan, Nessie, and my mum, Jeanette, they would often tell us a load of anecdotes about how people would literally fear for their lives, get in the car for him, and things like give way and roundabouts meant nothing to him. He was straight out onto the road, and my mum would frequently tell me stories about how he would just stop in traffic to just hold the conversation with people across from different cars and things. So we used the number plate really to sort of talk through some of those really interesting anecdotes, and of course I give the reason why it's got a rather large crack through the middle of it as well, but I'll keep that one secret until guys come in and want to hear the stories.
I mean, this is one of the reasons to give the Shankly tours a go, really. You do get the opportunity to speak to family members about what Bill was like. Obviously loads and loads of stories and anecdotes and books are already out there, but these are straight from people who knew Bill personally, obviously, and have got different tales to tell. Loads of memorabilia on the tour as well that you probably haven't seen before. That's fantastic, so check it out. It's Shankly Tours. Look them up on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So the Shankly tours there, check that out, worth your time. Lots and lots of really interesting stuff down there. I've loved going down there and have a look. Go and do the same, get involved, get on the tours and learn some new stuff about the great man. In the papers today, loads of stuff obviously about the weekend's games and that sort of stuff, the FA Cup. It was a great shame that Wigan went out. I really wanted Paul Cook to just carry on being the Scousers man alive in interviews before and after games, but I guess he'll just have to get Wigan up now. They went out to Southampton, of course, but loads and loads of the papers are devoted to Liverpool, and rightly so. And so, I'm just going to keep on talking about Liverpool, really, to be honest with you. Why not? It's a Liverpool show. In the Mail's sport pull out today, they said Messi of the Premier League for Mo there, but in brackets, but not yet an Anfield legend. Now, I always think it's interesting, this one, the idea of what is a legend. Me personally, and I know this isn't to everyone's taste, I'm not having Suarez, for instance, as a Liverpool legend.
No.
Why? Because he scores loads of goals, he's a fantastic player, he's one of the best players I've seen in the flesh at Anfield, but he got off. And he didn't stick around to win things and create a legacy and all that sort of stuff. So not a legend for me. And this is what there's a chat about what makes legends, well, and what makes an influential player as well here in the Mail. They've got Mark Lawrence to do it. It's one of them where I think the idea behind it is always going to cause debate and opinion to rage, if you like. And so the headline is, yes, Salah's a wonder, but he's not an Anfield legend yet. That's in today's Mail there.
Give him time.
I know, yeah. You know what I mean? He's still in his first season, Mark.
9 months or whatever.
It's interesting in itself that Mark Lawrence is even talking about what makes a legend and what makes an influential player, because actually, he was a fantastic player for Liverpool, but that's become forgotten a little bit in, what is Loro, if you like, his alter ego, the miserable bastard that you see on, on Match of the Day and stuff like that, where he's dropped from there, wasn't he? But, 5 Live in the papers and everything else, the persona around him isn't great. But it shouldn't be forgotten that he was a fantastic player for Liverpool. But anyway, the 10 he's gone for, this is Lotto's list of Liverpool's 10 most influential players. Billy Liddell, Ron Yates, Ian St John, Emlyn Hughes, Kevin Keegan, Kenny Dalglish, Graham Souness, John Barnes, Robbie Fowler, Steven Gerrard. Now, I loved Robbie, for instance, here, but but I'm really surprised to see a list of the 10 most influential players that doesn't include Ian Rush, who scored 346 goals for Liverpool.
Yeah,
I'm really surprised by that. I mean, Robbie Fowler was absolutely brilliant for Liverpool, especially in his first spell, obviously. I loved him, loved the idea of, you know, a lad from Torquay running around causing murder in every respect. But yeah, Rush has got to be in there. I mean, he's put on the bottom. Apologies to Hansen, Rush, Owen, Suarez and many others. It's almost like he didn't want to do this list and someone's put his arm up his back. But any that jump out for you there that's missing? I mean, the other thing to say is this is going to be based on, everyone's going to have different lists based on who you've saw play, your age, all that sort of stuff.
I think, like, yeah, it's different for me. I can only really remember watching two of them play, and I probably miss Fowler at his best. So, like, I think Gerrard's the best player to ever play for Liverpool, but then some older than me would say maybe Kenny Dalglish. But yeah, Ian Rush there, surely he should be in that. I would have said
Rushy's got to be in there. Rushy was in here as well last week and got him to sign stuff. I've told you about that before, but I'm still buzzing about it.
Excited.
I'm still buzzing about it. I mean, he's one of my heroes. Anyway, no, you know what we used to do? I'll tell you this, because I don't know if I've said this before on shows, definitely haven't said it on here. What we used to do round ours on the old field is make a goal and then put a can in the corner, and the can was the camera in the 86 Cup final that Rushy knocked over. So you had to score past your mates, but if you knocked the can over as well, you could run away doing the Rush celebration knowing you did the camera at Wembley. Sad that, isn't it?
Anyone that tries to claim they didn't used to play footy in their back garden or in the streets doing the commentary, you're an absolute liar. I'm not having it. Like, I still did it until about 4 or 5 years ago, do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
The Ev won at the weekend. Stoke went down to 10 men because Charlie Adam decided that he didn't want to play in the snow and wanted to go and get a full English, so he got himself...
and a cream egg.
Yeah, he got himself sent off and got off to the nearest greasy spoon. Meanwhile, Stoke lost to Everton, and that lad Tossin, who can't play in the snow and the rain and the cold, scored 2 goals, so right, Sam chatting bubbles there again. But on the subject of Big Sam and the gravy boat man, someone changed his Wikipedia over the weekend, which is absolutely fantastic, and they changed it to Samuel Allardyce, born 19th of October 1954, known as the Count of Monte Bisto. Which is absolutely amazing. Can you see that, Tom? Focused in and Everton. Absolutely amazing. Great work.
When I asked you what you got up to the weekend, you didn't mention this, did you?
No, it was absolutely superb. Oh, and thanks very much as well to someone who's seen me, you know, continually ripping Allardyce and calling him the gravy man. They sent us a graphic of I mean, I wish I had it to hand now. I'll have to dig it out, but they sent us something they'd drawn up of Sam in a bath of gravy with a little rubber duck and stuff. It was amazing work. So thanks very much for that. As I say, I can't really be bothered talking about other teams today because I'm buzzing about Liverpool and that's how it should be. And I just wanted to bang on about Salah one last time. Bill Edgar does loads of statistics in the Times game pull out on a Monday, and he's come up with this one which I really like because it just sort of underlines, I mean, we shouldn't be taking 36 goals for granted. We've got one of the best players in the world right now on our hands at our club, wearing a red shirt, scoring week after week. And as Bill has pointed out here, he says Mohamed Salah's 28 league goals for Liverpool this season matches or beats the tally of 5 Premier League teams. What he means is he's scored as many as they've managed as a team in the season in the league. So Salah scored 28, Brighton have scored 28, Burnley have scored 27, Swansea City have scored 25, Huddersfield Town 24, and West Brom under Pardew the knobhead 24. And he says if Salah maintains that record and 4 other clubs are within his sights, he will destroy the record for a full top flight season since 1888, which stands at equalling or exceeding only 2 clubs. Sheffield Wednesday's David McLean beat Notts County and Arsenal's tallies in 1912-13. Tottenham Hotspur's Harry Kane matched Sunderland and outscored Middlesbrough last season. I mean, look, you know, it's not some great honour, is it, or anything like that, but it just does underline what I'm saying about the idea that, you know, he's scoring more goals than football clubs, and he's ours, and we're watching him week after week. I mean, how fantastic is that? You know, and there's another stat kicking around as well. It's 50 games now for Jurgen Klopp in charge at Anfield, and under no other manager did we manage more goals. I mean, there was other managers that have managed more points, to be fair. We're certainly conceding more than past teams as well. But it's all about goals, isn't it? You know, goals are the moment when you go mad, when you go crazy, when you fall over seats, when you hug your mates, when you kiss random people, and that's what it's all about. And we're scoring loads of them under Jurgen Klopp, so that's good, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, I think he's the what an open question. Lovely. It's like I think he's actually the first player to score a hat-trick in the league under Jurgen Klopp as well. I think I saw that. There was so many stats flying around at the weekend, and it's all because of Mo Salah. I think. He's one of those players that now we're at the stage where it's like enjoy him, enjoy watching him, and hopefully he hangs around for forever. Hopefully he signs one of those life contracts they're trying to get Firmino to sign. But I think that everyone can sort of see the way this Liverpool side are progressing under Jurgen Klopp and its trajectory, and I think the players can see that, and I think they can sense that there's something happening, and hopefully we can win loads of things with Salah, and that keeps that ensures that we've got him for years and years to come. But I'm certainly confident in that, and it's an absolute joy to watch him at the moment.
Is right. It's a boss time to be the Reds, so it's a boss time to listen to the Anfield app because everyone's joyous and full of fun and made up to be talking about the Reds. So we're just gonna. The reason you might see me glancing at my watch, we're gonna leg it now downstairs into our studio. We're gonna record the main Anfield app show, which will be out free later today. For subscribers to Tour Player, £5 a month. AnfieldApp.com/subscribe. There will also be an AFQ football today. Ben Johnson's on that, so it's bound to be sound basically because he's one of the funniest fellas involved.
His ratings at the weekend were suitably mad.
His ratings, if you're not on that yet, even Gareth was tweeting about them the other week. Something else. He's carved himself a niche in the national football consciousness, and if you're not involved, you should get involved. So he's on the AFQ football. That will be out there tonight, 8 p.m. So yeah, stay with us. Talking Reds will be back tomorrow. Loads of podcasts there about the Reds. The post-match show already out there as well. So what a time to be a Red. What a time to be alive. See you tomorrow.